In this video, I'm going to make a tellico nymph. Now, in the past videos, I have been not talking, but this time I'm going to, because my family members have been telling me that I should talk. And I already have the thread started on the hook, but you probably know how to do that. I have these pheasant feathers. I'm just going to take one and find a couple. I prefer to use the ones that they have black tips. And then you just take your scissors and snip off as close to the feather as you can. And that is what we have. If you can see that. You just tie it on like you would any other tail. That one's just sticking up. I can take that out. Now what I do is I grab my peacock curl and I take 4 or 5 strands. I'm just gonna take like 4. I have 4. So I can snip the tips to make them even. I want them as long as possible. Snip that. Just tie it on. I've got that one sticking up, but I can just... Oh, I didn't even tie that on. So I tie this one on. And there we go, peacock curl. And you can stick this in your material clip. If you don't have a material clip, they're very cheap. So now what I do is I tie on my chenille. Here's a pretty good sized strip of chenille. And I just tie that on with the hook. And wrap that. And I can put that in the material clip too, the peacock curl. Now, I can just bring my thread up, take the chenille out of the material clip, wrap the chenille, tie it down, snip it, and then next thing is the peacock curl. If you have like 3 strands, then you can just wrap 1 or 2. If you have 3, I would just wrap 1. You just wrap it like you would hackle on the chenille. Now I need to wrap that thicker. I would do about 2 wraps in the middle of the chenille. It only should take about like 3 sections of peacock curl. Then you wrap it a couple times up at the front and tie it down. It only takes like 3 wraps to tie down peacock curl. And you can just break that off because it's so thin. Now I tie my hackle and at the front I have this. So I just take a pretty small, not that small, piece of hackle, like that. Now I tie it in. And I wrap it. You should only need to wrap like 2 times. And then you can tie that and cut it off. Wrap a couple times just to make sure. Then you fold this over, making sure there's an even amount of hackle fibers on each side. Then you tie it down as it's a shell wrapped around my bobbin. But you tie that down, and you can break off your peacock curl, and then whip finish. And for the tellico nymph, I for most flies I would use about 3 wraps with the whip finish. I like to do 2 whip finishes just to make sure that if one whip finish comes off, then the fly isn't gonna fall apart when you're fishing. So there you have it. And you just snip your thread, drop the fly, that right there is the tellico nymph.